Alright, so I brought it down on the lift now that I'm not so dang busy. Why is the door locked? So... Ugh. The transmission's pushed up a lot right now. I'm using the lift. I'll show you guys down when we go underneath. The transmission is pushed up a lot right now. That's not bolted down. It's just in there to keep dust out of it. I'll silicone it when it comes time to give it its final resting place. But ECU is unhooked. ECU is unhooked anyway because we're welding. Let's plug this light in. And take her up. Oh, well, this is probably the first time you guys have seen this down. I might as well wait a minute. So as you can tell, the engine's leaned forward quite a bit right now. Like, a lot. I just put the top bell housing bolts in, so I had to tilt it up. Definitely looks like that bottom one was leaking a little bit. That back one, I mean. That was the front one. That's okay, I'll figure it out. Oh, back one was leaking too. Son of a bitch. Yep, that's okay. But yeah, this is it. Sticky mounts. My radiator hoses. I'm waiting on my overflow. It keeps spilling out right here too. There's a little right there. When I punch the gas, it sloshes up and runs down the shock tower. Yep. All right, let's take her up so we can see what's been going on underneath here. So the header was off because when I was tilting the motor back to put the trans in, the header was hitting the subframe. There we go. So, let me lower this down. Where's the lock for this thing? Here it is. All right. All right, so as y'all can see, the Magnum XL is in. I love that it has this inspection hole right here. But yeah, it's in, and it honestly wasn't too bad to get in there. I had to trim these tabs off. I had to trim that tab off. And then there's a tab up here, right there, that I trimmed off. Oh well. But yeah, she went in, perfectly smooth. But as you can see, the transmission is just kind of sitting on the cross member because the transmission mount on this Magnum XL is further back. This bolt right here would actually have been centered with this mount before, and so it moved, you know, a little bit back. So we had to make a transmission mount. So what we did was the mount that came in the kit, we cut the tabs off of it, and then we bolted this plate to the transmission like this, and then tacked it, then brought it down and welded it all the way around, and made our own little transmission mount. It's drying right now. Yep. So it's drying. It has paint on it. But we made that custom mount so I could actually bolt this down. The drive shaft is 6.5, I believe, was what the final number was. It was either 6 1/4 or 6.5, chopped off with the yoke I'm using. It was supposed to be done today, but we had some bad ice. I doubt that the drive shaft place even opened, to be honest. But it'll definitely be done by Friday because I told him I needed it by Friday. So, but yep, that's it. She's all in there. Ew, there's slag all over my transmission. Gross. Is that? It is. So I need to put the clutch line back in. I need to feed this back up through there. Let's see, feed that back up through there so that I can bleed it. And then I'll zip tie this, same place I had it before, which was right here. I'll zip tie her right there in place. She'll be good to go. Oh, updates on the exhaust. I keep forgetting. So as you can see, the header is off on this side, but it's not on this side. It was actually hitting like right here, but it was hitting on this side, I mean, right there when I was tilting the motor back. So I took it off to get the clearance I needed. But yep. So this exhaust works. That goes on the header, and that goes on the header. There's my O2 sensor. One wideband actually, but I didn't, it was putting this side in a bind, and it was actually leaking out of the V-band because it was in such a bind, which is hard to do. So I ordered a whole bunch of pipe and some pre-made bends, and I'm gonna run true duals straight through here, then run them side by side underneath the drive shaft, and then right out through there. You can't see it because I lifted the rear end with the subframe once the exhaust was out, but the exhaust actually goes through right here. And yeah, I won't be doing this. Obviously, I'll just lower this back down and use my rubber blocks to lift it up. That should be the exhaust, but it'll be 3-inch true dual straight pipes, which should be, you know, more than more than sufficient for what we're doing here. So I am having an issue with wheel hop, and it's driving me absolutely crazy, but you know, you can't win them all. So I'm gonna swap out these differential bushings because this one looks junk, and once the differential bushings are changed out, I'll hope for the best. If not, I'll swap this whole subframe out for the sedan subframe, and it's a beefier rear end. Gosh, this thing looks so good. And it's an LSD. Yep. But that'll be dry tomorrow, I'm guessing. And I'll put it back in here Friday with the new drive shaft. I'll put some new silicone on my shifter and bolt that down and have that ready to go. And this thing has been a nightmare. I just want it to be done. It's leaking power steering fluid. I think it's the pump. I don't know, but it's driving me nuts. It's not a bad leak though. It's enough. It's enough to make you mad, but it's it'll get fixed one way or another. I need to pull that out. There we go. That's where the clutch line locks in. So this is actually a GTO bell housing. This was a GTO transmission. I don't know if you guys know that. I don't remember if I said it or not. But this is how the GTO's slave goes in, which is not that weird, like circular quick release thing that the F-bodies have, which I hate. I use a piece of plastic, like a Country Crock butter bowl. I cut it down and then slide it in, and then it pushes all the tabs out, and you can pull the line out of the F-bodies. But the GTO's got that little clip, which is what I like. So, which is actually what the car originally had, was a clip like that. But yeah, I really hope this thing is done and back on the road this weekend. Cars and Coffee is Sunday, and I'm really, really, really wanting to make it to Cars and Coffee on Sunday. If I have to, I'll throw that exhaust back on. But my fuel system, oh yeah, I gotta check this out. I gotta replace this fitting. So I forgot to zip tie this when I first built the car, and this was dragging the ground. Look at this. It did not rub all the way through, but it definitely took quite a grinding. There's no telling how much material is actually there in the middle of that. It's kind of scary, but you know, it's holding pressure. It's not leaking at all. It's not like I'm running crazy fuel pressure in here. It's like 59 pounds. But this is my fuel line. My factory feed line is now my return line. And I actually flipped these. I don't know if you can see it or not. Here, I'll go this way. But these are the bolts that originally held all this. I just got some of these, took the nut off, put it on there, then put the nut back on, did it all the way up. And I was able to keep it all behind the heat shield except for right there, which that was behind it. I don't know why it's not now, but that's okay. Oh, because that bolt, I forgot to put those bolts back in. Oopsie. Totally gonna forget to put those back in, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Yeah, that runs up, and then my factory feed line is now my return line. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough fuel line to do whatever I needed to do, which is, it's -6, and I'm still running the OG gas tank on this bad boy. Which I'm actually gonna pull it because I stripped a couple of the bolt holes out on the pump, because I've had the pump out like 6 times trying to figure out why it wasn't siphoning from this side of the tank. I kept running out of gas. But yeah, this side's empty, that side's not. So this is the side the siphon pulls from and pushes over here, and the pump's actually over here. Well, my siphon that I installed, because you can't really use the original one, my Radium Jet siphon is in the pump on the return line. Well, it was too close to the bottom of the pump, so it was actually backfilling. So I was running out of gas crazy fast, and it'd say I'd have a half a tank, and I was out of gas completely on this side, and I would be full on this side. So let's say I had exactly a half a tank of gas, and the car would be dead in the water. But I took the fuel pump back out again, moved the Radium Jet up, and it started siphoning immediately, and I haven't had a problem with it since. So yeah, There's so much America up there. So much America. So this is actually the OG V6 starter wire right here. But yep. I'm going home to see my wife. That's it.